Check, check, check. Okay, I'm back. So like I said, I was kind of lagging. But anyway, to complete my thought, in the case of Kyrie Irving, he definitely has the freedom of speech. He shouldn't have to apologize if he don't want to apologize for what he said. They're starting to get ridiculous with calling people anti-Semitic when they're not threatening violence, when they're not saying they're, superior to them in any way, when they're not wishing death upon you, when they're not threatening your, way of life. You should not have the absolute power over people and you call yourself of God, because that's not godly. To sit up there and subjugate people and tell them what they can and cannot say. And this is just a certain select few. It's not the Israeli Jews tripping like that. It's not the Palestinian Jews tripping like that. This is this league tripping like that, trying to come after brothers and sisters financially. And once they place that label on you, Semitic, then you have to spend the rest of your life apologizing and all your assets paying off money in legal fines from lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, just because, they said something you said was anti-Semitic. And they're not even really clearly defining what anti-Semitism is. They're just like, saying you offended, this statement's offensive to us, this statement's offensive to us. But meanwhile, the original man and the original woman, we don't have a league. This whole country's history has been one big giant slanderous, offensive gesture and word after another one ever since America has been born. We got all kinds of pop culture references that's embroidered and etched in American culture, demeaning us, berating us, belittling us. All kinds of derogatory things in, the fabric of America. And no consequence comes from it. It's freedom of speech then. Do you have any idea all the racist, like animated cartoons that we were subject to as children? Huh? Especially like the Disney ones, like Brer Rabbit, the Tar Baby, like, are you kidding me? Dumbo, the little black crows. I can go on and on and on. They actually used to have a cartoon, a comic strip called Little Blackie. They still to this day sell products with blackface. Do we get money for that? They won't even give us the money they owe us. They won't even give us reparations. So we can't get money every time somebody, racially offends us. Every time somebody says something anti-black, we don't have the power to cancel anybody. How come all these other groups got the power to cancel us? I think I covered a long time ago when I first started doing my podcast, like way back in episode 10. They're using cancel culture to cancel our culture. Like all these groups can just, get your Facebook shut down. They can get your Instagram shut down. Saying you offended them. But meanwhile, nothing happens when somebody says something offensive to us. Then it's freedom of speech. You don't like it, don't look. You don't like them, block them. You don't like them, mute them. They don't get their whole page shut down. They don't get, their algorithm slowed down on YouTube. And YouTube, y'all is a real trick with that. We were and are the best content creators on YouTube. Like when the era of the content creators, when you used to get like crazy, like bread from uploading content on YouTube, we was dominating that. Comedic skits to whatever. And y'all know it. But then, all of a sudden out of nowhere, you start flagging videos, taking this down, taking that down, finding people. Copyright strike and all that old crap. So I said all that to say Kyrie Irving should not have to apologize for saying something that was true. The truth is not anti-Semitism. Semitism. You know what I'm trying to say. Getting tongue-tied, it's getting late, but I'm trying to keep it super brief. You can't call the truth anti-Semitic. The truth is the truth. If you disagree with the truth, bring your scholars with the scholarship to debate the truth. Because there's many organizations that got the scholarship and back it up with the scholarship. They ain't operating out of emotion. With actual, factual fact, who the original one was. NOI got the scholarship. Comedic Science Temple got the scholarship. The Moore Science Temple got the scholarship. Hebrew Israelites, they got the scholarship. They're backing it up with scholarship, not operating out of emotion. Nation of Gods and Earths, they got the scholarship. So if that offends you that badly, bring the scholarship, bring your notes, bring all your lectures, all your teachings, and show us and prove that we're not. But what you should stop doing is sitting up there trying to cancel people for making the claim of who the original one was. I mean, if you're of God, like you say you're of God, it shouldn't matter who's the original people. Who's the original one? If you love God like you say you love God, why does it even matter? Why does that make you angry? All right, so to that point, and I'm bring it on to a close. I'm kind of tired of talking about the brother, but gotta talk about him again. So, Brother Ye, he also bought scholarship. He wasn't talking out of emotions. Now, his original point, when he got on Twitter and said what he said, it was, it was boisterous and disruptive, but it wasn't a lie. You should not have to apologize for telling the truth. So, also, I'm going to say some things, this isn't slanderous. I love this brother. I love everything he represents. But I'm going to just say some things to kind of cement a point that I'm bringing home. So just let me land. I promise you, I'm not putting them down. I'm not slandering them. I don't do that on my platform, but I'm going to point out some things that I don't agree with. I didn't agree with the White Lives Matter shirt. Not that, I felt like it was contradicting the Black Lives Matter, because I got it immediately. So if you listen to me on my live, a few lives ago, when I talked about it, when he wore the White Lives Matter shirt, I said, bruh, you ain't got to do all that. Basically, that's why I said you ain't got to do all that. Like, just get to the point, say whatever you're trying to say. You don't have to make this big, spectacle. That's it. I didn't get angry that he wore the White Lives Matter shirt, because I already knew where he was going with it, because everybody focused on the White Lives Matter. They didn't read the front of the shirt. By now you should have seen his interview, and he laid it all out. I also don't agree, or I have questions about his, integrity surrounding it. Like, is he going on this truth-telling thing because he actually wants to expose the truth? Or is he actually just basically trying to get out of a bunch of contractual obligations that he has with all these companies? I don't know. I need answers. I'm still going somewhere with this. I promise you, I'm not putting them down. I'm setting all this up from my point that I'm getting at. I also don't agree with, his disruptive, boisterous energy he got when he unveils his point. It's like the whole internet got to stop and look at him until he gets done talking about whatever he wants to talk about. And just causing all this commotion. We got to do a whole 4 and 5 weeks of town hall meetings and trying to break down what we believe, what we believe or what we think that he's talking about, and trying to pontificate amongst ourselves about, what directions he's going, when we really need to be laser focused on the business at hand. And the business at hand, if you don't know, is getting reparations. And I think his antics takes away from that conversation, not adds to it. So my concern and my issue is what's the plot? What's your end goal? What are you trying to achieve by, going back and forth with this league and pointing out all this stuff? What are you trying to do? Because we already know who the enemy is. We already know how dirty they play. We already know their power. They've shown their power. They've shown their fangs. They show how cruel and merciless they are in reference and concern to our people. But I just want to know, that's my issues I got with Brother Ye. However, now I'm getting to the point. Despite all the things I disagree with him about, I 110% stand with him and believe he should not have to apologize. He said what he said, deal with it. And that's the energy we all need to have. Because they done drew a line in the sand. And you need to pick what line of the sand you're going to be on. Can't be no more fence straddling in this, liberation thing. Because they stick together, we got to stick together. When we start sticking together, more things start happening. We don't hate Jewish people. We don't hate nobody. That's not in our true nature to hate anybody. What I'm absolutely disgusted and sickened by right now from a few of my brothers and sisters who say they with the movement is like how just, like weak they're moving and just how little backbone they're showing. They sitting up there posting "We love Jews" and on all their platforms, and it wasn't never like "We hate Jews." That's not the energy. The energy surrounding that is telling the truth and standing on truth. He told the truth. He shouldn't have to apologize. He said what he said. He backed it up with scholarship. It wasn't out of emotion. He came with fact after fact after fact after fact after more fact. All they came with was operating out of emotion, said the things he was saying was anti-Semitic, and there was not. There was not anti-Semitic.